Hayden Panettiere just shared an absolutely terrifying story and proves once again just how f***ed up Hollywood could truly be. Hayden was recently on the Jay Shetty podcast to promote her new memoir, where she talked about a story that happened to her at the age of 18, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty terrifying.
ABC News posted this first, but the representatives for Hayden Panettiere announced that she passed away today at 36 years old. This is so incredibly sad to me. I definitely was watching her. She had a memoir come out in May, so a couple months ago, and I was watching her. She was doing her interviews, her press tour for that, and she talked about just all the different struggles that she had, from postpartum depression, from being the victim of domestic violence, from addiction issues. So much that she had gone through, and it seemed like she was kind of turning the corner, being able to talk about those different things. And so they have not said the death or what happened to her. We don't know. So people are obviously going to guess, but we just don't know. But I think people are going to assume that her leaving this earth at 36 years old likely is tied to one of those issues that she was talking about in her memoir. And it definitely just seemed like she had turned a corner. So I think it's incredibly sad to think that she did not. The thing that stood out to me when she talked about her time on Nashville, and I loved the show Nashville. I still have songs on my iTunes today from Nashville. I loved her character. The whole story was just so good those first few seasons, but it definitely went left. And part of one of the reasons why it went left was her character and her character struggles. And she talked about how the show basically took all of her struggles from her own life, her postpartum depression, all that, and added it to her character, and how difficult that was. Like, that basically gave her no reprieve. She's having to deal with it in real life and then play a character who's also dealing with it as well. Just so much that has happened to her. This makes me so sad thinking about just how talented she was from as a child, and Remember the Titans to Nashville, Heroes, so many.
All of this darkness and this negativity.
This actually exposed Hollywood to a lover not seen in a long time. This lady just passed away. She recently had an interview where she actually exposed something that I don't know if you've seen it. A lot of people are already calling it out on social media. I'm not saying this is why she passed away, but this is extremely concerning because we have been calling out Hollywood on this platform for a very long time. There is something happening. Hayden just passed away at 36, 3 months after her bombshell exposure of the elite Hollywood. Above all, she was a mom. She lived behind her daughter, Kaya, barely 3 months after she finally spoke up. In her new book on that Jay Shetty podcast, she told the world what happened when she was 18 and Heroes was exploding.
All of them.
You write about a moment in your career where a friend of yours takes you onto a boat. You're led to a room which has an older man in it, and then basically told to perform sexual acts and,
Oh yeah. Perspective completely shifted, and I realized that I was in danger. But by the time I'd realized I was in danger, I was quite literally out to sea. And it was that moment shook me and was shocking. And I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening. So it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise. And it was led by somebody that I had grown to trust and see as a protector and somebody who had my back. And to be walked down, down the stairs, and it was as like a surprise, presented as though it was like a surprise. And it was this very small room, and she physically put me in the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous, and had his hands like this, like.
Yes, let me say this before we proceed. If you've been watching me for a very long time, I don't always like to push some kind of conspiracy when something happened. I always like to report just the truth. Taking a look at what people are attributing to this is as a result of this interview you just saw.
For him, this is something that happens all the time. And I waited for her to leave, and I I mean, that lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide, and I bolted, and I hid wherever I had been crying. Once people figured out that I could cry on cue the way that I did, it was in everything, literally every scene. And it went from being a kid and having to imagine just that your pet passed away or something. But then as I got older, the imagery became darker and darker and darker, and the emotion that I had to hold within me in order to get those trigger tears going, and it became harder and harder to jump out of it. I didn't know where my character started and where I ended,
and where it began.
Just enmeshed.
But what was interesting to me, Hayden, you said you began to associate those overtop.
Yeah, I understand. Hollywood is full of, let me not say it. When something like this happens, a lot of people will just go straight into calling them out the way they want. Yeah, you will not blame them. That is how Hollywood has been for a very long time. But sometimes things do happen naturally. Yeah. Even if this is now in relation to what she reviewed a few months ago, you realize you can't know. Yeah, because already from the dispatch call, I'm already saying something different. So who knows what the real truth is behind this? It is extremely concerning. It is high time people should be careful when they put out certain kind of information on social media. I understand Hollywood is not really a good place, but I'm not sure that something fishy happened despite the story.
I will say it was a very therapeutic experience. I've been writing it for about 2 years, and it's terrifying all at the same time. I mean, I put it all out there. I was like, if I'm going to do this,
And emergency medical service workers responded to a call about a person in cardiac arrest and an unresponsive female. And law enforcement sources told TMZ Hayden's friend called 911 at 1:51 p.m. Sunday to report that the actress was unresponsive and in cardiac arrest inside the residence in Greenville, South Carolina. And in the 911 dispatch audio obtained by TMZ, you hear responders sending medics to her location to perform CPR on someone who OD'd. It's unclear if Hayden's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, placed the call. Greenville police officers and EMS workers quickly responded, and paramedics attempted to resuscitate Hayden using advanced cardiac life support. Our sources say this treatment builds on CPR by adding special medicines, breathing tubes, and heart rhythm tracking. And in this photo, you can see a fire truck and multiple ambulances outside the South Carolina residence where Hayden was found unresponsive.
Yes, I believe that is actually the truth, what we are finding out. And if you see a lot of people attributing her passing to something else that I don't know, I was just reporting so you can see exactly what people are saying on social media versus the truth. We are still to find out. I will continue to update you on what is going on exactly. So please share the video and if possible hit up the highly recommended clips on this channel. I saw the short clips at the end. That's what I got to always skip.
Much she enjoys celebrating. She took it well. She said she just wants to spend more time with her husband, the Grinch. Be happy that the crazy lady.
Thing is, can you?
Quick question: if you're here tonight,
Whatever it is
bring
zero
it
to
up
do with
because
me.
it sounds.
Explain what happens when people know.
they were releasing how much 40 years old that the sun and the moon were not the same thing.
Wants to know the strangest part of going.
Yeah.
That's
So
wow.
Dust Blossom turned into this fabulous actress.
Sunny from The View. I am so sick of you and Whoopi.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
We will be okay if you.
Diversity for diversity's sake being crammed down our throats.
The Hunger Games.
Loves to work. It's, I had a group of guys,
Is cool.
And of that, you.
All eyes on California
people.
And so this is my
Antinous, Odysseus,
Telemachus.
This clip of Elliot Page is going to be what takes the Odyssey movie.
It is now being reported that the 36-year-old actress passed